Alright everybody, welcome to Presearing. We're gonna kick this off. I already have a couple of max level Presearing characters, but it's never enough, you know. There's always an itch to continue on this adventure. So I'm gonna create a new character, and the purpose of this stream is to show people how I go about getting Legendary Defender, because I'm not the most efficient player by any means. I like to play other games efficiently, but in Guild Wars, it's all about the fun, the chill, the enjoyment of this area. I just wanna, maybe through those streams, showcase how much I love this area. Show what's cool about it, show why I like it so much. So much so that even some of my characters in other games are called Presearing. Alright, this one is a warrior. I do not have a warrior legendary defender yet, so this will be an adventure for me as well. And actually yesterday the Halloween event started, so this is the perfect time to start a new character. We can get some drops going. I will just turn back to my fiancée and see if the stream is alright. Czy wszystko dobrze słychać? Okay, so I think we can start. Let's listen to this fantastic Presearing starting video. Oh, the name is Presearing Enjoyer. This is what this stream is gonna be all about. Let's create the character and let's watch the cutscene together.
The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. People carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe?
Yes, my lord.
These Char are relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs.
Yes, my lord.
Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory.
As you command, my king.
Alright, so after we've arrived, after this beautiful cutscene, let's start our gameplay with a little bit of customization. I'm just gonna hide my helmet real quick and check. Yes, we're in the American district. So straight out of the gate, you probably want to play on the American district. The ping might be not too great, so if it really destroys your immersion, makes you lag a lot, then switch to your closest district, obviously. But everybody else playing is in America. If you switch to European or just England, this place will be pretty much dead. So if you come to Presearing and you see no people, that might be it, because I play on American and there's always a lot of people around here. One thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start a bunch of quests, but we will not finish them. We will just finish one quest, which is the one we will get when we get out of the gate here. Just so we get some abilities, and then we will not be completing any more quests. The reason being, level 16 is the longest level here by far. Not the experience amount, but how long it takes because of the monster scaling. So you wanna save all of your quests pretty much for level 16. I'm also gonna use my bonus command. Oh, it only works in Outpost. Should have known. Alright, so we were gonna just finish those scale pads without our bonus stuff and get some experience. This quest gives 500 XP if I remember correctly, and losing 500 XP at level 16 hurts a little, but getting to level 16, more or less to level 10 without abilities would suck as well, and it's not worth it. So as a warrior, we can use every single ability at our every single weapon we can get in the game. This is how Presearing works. But I think I'm gonna, let me just quickly rearrange this. Where do I want this? Maybe this will go second, something like this. But in Presearing, we don't have the attributes really to switch to many other weapons. So as a warrior, we're gonna stick to warrior stuff. I would like to switch to axes because I just like axes in Presearing a lot. Hammer will be okay if we use the bonus one, but I want to stray away from swords. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna go to the city and rezone so we get proper monster density, because if you go out with the first quest only, you don't get any of the regular monsters there. And we can start our journey. So what I like to do at the start is we're gonna check a couple of collectors, because one of them gives a useful reward. Yes, this one gives belt pouch for 5 scale fins, and since scale are perfect to level on, at this point we're gonna go and slaughter some scale at least to level 2. Then we're gonna... oh, and I forgot, we're gonna go back to town because I forgot to do my / bonus. We're gonna be collecting all of the Nick items, and by Nick items I mean items that are required by Nicholas the Traveler, or Nicholas Sandford. I should know this as a Presearing player, which one is the Presearing one. Anyways, there is an NPC, is the / bonus. Let's keep this, the summoning stone, and let's destroy everything else except for the hammer. Alright. So while I'm destroying this, there is an NPC in Presearing. Let's keep the shield actually too. That will once a day want certain items. The pool of items is always the same, so you can generally know which items to keep. And he accepts it in quantities of 5 up to 25, and he gives you gifts for it. So you can get up to 5 gifts a day for 25 of a certain item, and the items are creature products. One example will be the scale fins. If it's not a weapon or a piece of armor or anything like that, if it looks like it came off a creature, it probably is a Nick item, so you do not want to sell those to the NPC. With one small exception being char thingies. I don't remember what they're called now, but you get so many of them that if you do char runs, that it's safe to just sell them and get some gold for that. On topic of gold, what we're gonna go for is 100 gold now, because we want an identification kit. That will enable us to start earning more money. And I also want 10 gold more for a salvage kit, because I want to craft some items too. So we're going for 110 gold, and that is without selling any blue items. This is an example of a blue item. It has a blue name. This is a very bad example, because this is not what we're looking for, because those are bonus items, but since they have the blue name, I thought why not? I'm just gonna showcase that, and I hope we don't die because I would like to keep my survivor status. If you're watching this because you, for some reason, are a fan of me and don't really know much about the game, in Guild Wars, Survivor is a title, one of the titles that you can progress, and one of the very few you can actually progress in the Presearing area. I don't think it shows up until level 5 or later, but the requirement is to get max level, which is 20, without dying. If you die, it resets, and if you get the required amount of experience that you would require for level 20, then you can get it. The amount of experience is 140,000. And in Presearing, it's generally, if you don't get it by leveling to 20, then you might as well create a new character, because getting experience at level 20 is very, very slow. And the title has 3 levels. There is regular Survivor, which requires just level 20, the 140k XP. Then there's level... Oops, we pulled... Level 2 requires 500,000, and level 3 requires 1.3 million XP. And there are just a couple people, I think 2 or 3 people in total in Presearing that have the level 3 Survivor, which makes it very, very, very prestigious, hard title to get. So we're gonna adventure, try to hit level 20, and ideally keep our Survivor status. If we die, it's no big deal, I will not be remaking, but I just think it would be cool to hit that 20. And we still have no fins, which sucks a little. Oh yes, I went back to town for my bonus items and I got so into talking that I forgot why I even got them in the first place. We can use our little imp here. He is level 1 for now and he levels with us. We cannot use him at level 20. And it's just a little summon that will start casting spells at our enemies, which is perfect because that's a DPS increase for free. Since I'm playing Presearing generally at level 20, I never get to use this thing because, as I said, you cannot use it at 20 anymore. So I would love to use it while I'm still leveling. We're just gonna clear here. We have a couple of monsters on us, so we gotta be careful. But we got a hidden stash. Hidden stash in Presearing is a type of chest that you do not require a key for. In the later stages of the game you need a key for the chest, but in Presearing you don't. And you get some items from this. So we're gonna open it up and look for some items. If you look further, there's a red eyeless flower. This is a very symbolic Presearing item. We're gonna start collecting those because they are required for Nicholas, but also they are required for the best helmet you can get, which gives you an additional rune slot, and they are required for equipment pack, which is additional bag space. We got some items here. As I said, we're trying to save up gold, so I'm gonna move blue items that I do not want to sell in the bottom of my inventory, and let's move the scale fins there too, so that when we are selling, I don't mix those up. We're saving all the blue items so that when we purchase identification kit, we can then identify them, and there is a chance the item will have the inscription on it. It's not called inscription in Presearing, but that's generally what it is in the game. That will increase its sale value. It's called increased sale price, and it can go up from like 4 gold to 50, 60, sometimes 60 something. So it's definitely, if you get 2 of those items, the identification kit paid for itself already, and it's an essential part of the Guild Wars gameplay. That's why we're getting it so early. And also I'm gonna get a salvation kit. Salvaging kit. English is hard when you're trying to focus on the game. Because in Ascalon we can craft some weapons. If you're an Ultimate Iron Man in this game, you are opting out of crafting. You do not craft. But I just want to create a regular character, so we will be crafting something, and I plan to craft an axe for us. We're not going to this cave yet, because it's too dangerous, too many monsters. We're just gonna make a small loop around here, and then we're gonna go explore the Abbey. And when we explore it, we will be able to map travel to that place, and one of the earlier goals I will have for this character is we're gonna be map traveling, unlocking all the outposts so we can map travel. And so far we have not been lucky with any event drops, which is weird because they usually drop quite often for Halloween, but maybe we will get one soon enough. Let's try to get level 2 before we get to the city. We should hit it on this one. In Guild Wars, your attributes can be changed freely for no cost when you're in town. So we're gonna go for it with Hammer Mastery for now to increase our DPS, and the remaining points we're gonna pump into Strength. Strength is a warrior-only attribute, and it, as far as I know, increases, yes, armor penetration, which will be very useful for us later on. If and when I get to later stages of playing this warrior, I will have a chat with some experienced warrior players of Presearing, and we will see what the considered good or optimal attribute usage for Presearing is, because I might be wrong on that, but I think they do not use strength too much, or strength is busted in that very OP way. It's one of the two. I remember watching a video on it, but I just can't remember exactly. I know because the monsters you're grinding at later, which is Char, are lower level than you, you get a huge chance to crit them. So maybe armor penetration will just make those hits even higher. I just can't remember, sorry. I will get some information, get educated, and get back to you on that on future streams. For now, we're not gonna kill all those scales yet because that might be a little too dangerous. Let's explore the Abbey. Once we are in the Abbey, there should be a merchant very close to the entrance, and we can unload all of our stuff that we don't need. Let's sell this, sell, and keep our blue items, and the items we want to keep the blues and the creature products. And now we will teleport back to Ascalon. And since we don't have 100 gold required yet, I will be exiting the town and we'll be going on a little journey. This is not the usual stuff you want to do, but I want to go and explore the far end of the map. This place, somewhere here, is called Baradine Estate. And what you can get there is a quest if you're a warrior for axe skills. And since we want to use an axe, we're gonna go get some axe skills. You do not have to complete it, as far as I know, just start it. So we will start it, we will get an axe, and we can be on our merry way. And this dude hits a lot. Jesus Christ. Whew. Alright, as a warrior, the skills we have now, Frenzy, it gives you an attack speed increase, but we get double damage back. And the Healing Signet has a drawback of reducing our armor by 40. And in Guild Wars, 40 armor reduction equals more or less double damage taken. So we want to be very careful while using those two skills, and that might be the reason we eventually die on this character, just because our own skills increase the damage we take. Let's pull this scroll too, because our imp will pull it. The imp is very useful for the DPS, but it has a nasty habit of pulling everything in its path. And we generally do not want that, because that hurts when you're a low level. Get this scroll. He's a level 3, which might be a little hard since we're level 2. As you can see, the damage, their health pool really increases with level. It's still doable with the imp, but without we would be slogging through this a lot. Alright, and we got fantastic drop. Growl necklace is one of those nick items I was talking about, and we got a trick or treat bag. I will be saving a couple of those and then we will do an opening. They are the Halloween item, and what they can give is some sweets and alcohol and other stuff. Looks like our imp did a gigantic pull, so let's see if we can survive it. And the sweets, alcohol, and party items are used for maxing titles, drunkard, sweet tooth, and party animal respectively. These are 3 more titles that you can work for in Presearing, and you need a lot of consumables to max those, so these items are very handy to get from monsters, because otherwise the only method of obtaining consumables in Presearing is either from nick gifts, or you can also get some alcohol from the Bear Hunters minigame, which is pretty tedious, but fun if you do it a little bit. So I will be showcasing it later on this warrior when we get to a higher level. Previously, the only area changes I shown were from outpost to the outside, let's say. And now we will be going from one outside zone to the other. These are called Explorable Zones. And as you can see, we cannot teleport here or back. This is just a barrier between 2 Explorable Zones. This quest gives sword skills, which we are not interested in. So we are continuing forward somewhere around here to Baradine Estate. As I've said, I've played Presearing for many years, but when it comes to stuff like warrior specific things, I've never played a warrior, so it's hard for me to give information on that. These 2 growls are healers, so we might have a little bit of a trouble fighting this level 1. Let's hope we can nuke it together with our imp. If we can't... Alright, we got one down, the other ones should be easy. There's also a little trick where you can lure them to Kasha Blackblood and grass them, and they will attack them, which helps if you need to dispatch 1 pack, but we have many, so it's good that we can deal with them ourselves. Okay. Since my DPS is not high enough, most of my DPS is from the Imp. I will not be using Frenzy. I will just be healing myself with the Signet for now. It's not worth it getting them. Whoops. And we pulled a lot of monsters. It's not worth it getting damaged for double the amount just to increase our small damage by a little bit. Okay. Thankfully, the Imp is doing the work. If you're playing an Iron Man, you cannot use the Imp. The rules say you cannot use the Imp. Which might make this a little bit harder for Iron Man, and when I leveled my Iron Man I definitely could feel it. And why I'm not using the hammer upgrade. Mine deals 3 to 5 damage, this one deals 5 to 7. We should feel a noticeable difference right away. Inventory. I will be destroying the bonus hammer and shield for now. We can always type /bonus again in an outpost and get them back. For now, this will save a little bit of backspace. And we're slowly creeping towards level 3. That was not too great of a pull, because not great. And now our Imp also pulled the Strider. Hopefully it can finish the Growl here. Let's help him. Yes, as you can see, the AI is not too perfect when you cannot control it yourself. But we somehow managed to persevere. Alright. And the loot is pretty nice. We are close to the estate for now. This should be one of the last pools. And we can start, let's say, proper leveling. I could actually maybe make a break for it here. But since we need XP anyway, let's slog through killing those Growl. We should be level 3 before we get to Baradine's. Okay, is there something we can drop? This is our starter hammer. It will sell for nothing, so we can drop it and pick up this Scroll Shaman gear. Let's come back for our 4 gold coins. You never know. You never know when those could prove useful, and now our inventory is filled to the brim, so there's nothing more we can do about it. Let's just run to the city and sell. Nobody messaged anything in like 30 minutes of me streaming, and now 2 people message at the same time. Alright. let's get through your messages. Guild Wars events. The trick or treat bags contain consumable items, the alcohol, sweets, and party items like fireworks, for example. And you can use them. Let's actually take this shield. And you can use them to level up your titles in Presearing, which are Drunkard for alcohol, Sweet Tooth for sweets, and Party Animal. Do we want to die? No. Screw the die. And they are one of the very few titles you can progress in Presearing. That's why you would like to keep them, because in Presearing getting the consumables is actually pretty tough. You can only get them from... You can get alcohol from a minigame, that's pretty slow. And you can get a little bit of alcohol, sweets, and party items daily from Nick items. You can get 5 per day, which is very slow. And hi Gamono, how are you? I'm actually surprised that YouTube recommended my stream or showed it to anyone, even those 2 people that watch my channel or are subscribed. I would expect it to bury it deep somewhere. And we're at the Baradine Estate. This is one of the furthest outposts we can get to in Presearing. That's why we maybe shouldn't have done the run so early, but now we have this little outpost out of the way, let's say. And if we talk to little Tom here, he'll give us the vineyard problem. Yes, we have to sell first. Alright. Let's sell. I wanted to keep that shield. It's too late now. Alright. We have crossed the 100 gold margin, so let's buy the identification kit. And we can use the kit to identify our blue items. This is scrap. We're looking for increased sale price. And we're not getting lucky. Alright, we didn't get it so far, but we will get it eventually. It's not a rare occurrence. And let's sell or this. We have 12 gold, so for this we can buy a salvage kit. No, it costs 40. I was sure it costs 10. Alright. Never mind then. Let's grab this starter shield later if we need it for free, and let's talk to Lil Thumb. He will start us on Vineyard problem, and we will get a starter axe together with some axe skills. This is what we wanted, and we don't have to actually do this quest. Can we abandon it? And will we keep the skills if I rezone? We do. Alright. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to Ascalon. We're gonna go grind on scales a little bit. We still need some gold. We still need the scales. I think we needed 5 and we have 2. And we need 5 for the belt pouch. I think it was that will be 5 more inventory slots. So let's get to fighting some scale. For now, I will not be using the axe skills, and that's because I don't have a good axe yet, so just hitting with my hammer will be better. And this is Gwen. Gwen is a very iconic character for Presearing area. She's the daughter of the prince here, and when the event that we do not speak about, which is the searing, happens, she is lost and it's presumed dead. But then during the expansion, the Eye of the North, she is leading a group there, so now you know she's alive. And actually there was a little bit of foreshadowing for this when the expansion abbreviation is Guild Wars Eye of the North, which spells Gwen. A little bit of information for you. So for now we will be sticking with the warrior items, which is we're gonna be axes. And then at level 10 I was thinking about switching to a bow build because we will be going warrior / ranger. And for the initial char farms, I think using a bow will be better for the range we get. And maybe with the bonus armor we get as a warrior, this will not be such a bad idea. Let's grind the scales here, open the hidden stash. I think I opened... Was there one there? I don't remember now. Let's actually go back and check. No. Alright, hidden stash. What do we get? What do we get? We get a lot of stuff. 3/5 axe. And a blue item. Now we are identifying all of our blues. Let's just delete the starter axe. We will not be using axes until we get a better one. And we are still not lucky on the mod, on the selling mod. This is the longest I've been dry on any character at the start of any character to find a higher sale price mod. Usually I find it in the first couple of items, and if you do char runs, you get some blues. You usually also find it relatively quickly. It's a pretty common mod. So we're just getting unlucky here. And I just hit 93 Herblower on RuneScape there. We got our fin, which is number 3. We need 2 more. 1 more blue item. Still no sale. Alright, we will get it at one point. I will not be stressing about it. It would be cool to get it before we hit 40 gold by itself, because that's kind of the point of getting those sales mods. But if we don't get the mod before then, that's not a big deal. We still need money later for many things. Thank you. I'm at this point with RuneScape that if I cannot play another game without RuneScape on the side, then I just will not play it. Do not call this addiction though. I can quit anytime I want. Obviously, I just never want to do so. This is a cave where you do the Devour Egg quest, which we could do, but then again, I just like saving all of the quests I can at level 16 and just doing them there. But I like this quest because you can get 2 hidden stashes here, and we like hidden stashes at this point of our character. They can drop the blue items we need, and maybe some upgrades even. Hidden stash. Unlucky. And we're full bags again, so let's clear out those devourers and go back to the town. Be a good devourer, give me a trick-or-treat bag, or a carapace, or gold. Or a blue item is also okay. What is this? Also shit mod. Alright, we are at 40 gold just by itself, so let's go back to Ascalon. We're gonna buy a salvage kit after I sell our You know what? No, before I sell our blue items, we will go to the crafter and see what materials we need. We want to craft an axe, and I don't know if that's an option, but if there's an option to craft a shield, then we want a shield as well. So let's go there. Which one is the crafter? I think this one. Yes, or no, this one is the customization. This is the crafter. What can we get? The axe. Fantastic. 4 iron, 1 wood, and 100 gold, which is pretty costly. And I don't see a shield here, which means probably there is none. There are some artifacts though that give energy and armor, but I don't think I'm gonna go that route for now. We're just gonna stack armor until level 10, where it becomes useless. Also a topic for a later date when we actually hit level 10. So we need iron and wood. Alright. I'm gonna sell one of those bows because we will for sure get wood from the other one. Okay, so let's sell the bow for 4 gold. Sell, buy a salvage kit. Let's move it here. Let's salvage this bow. Inventory full, come on. Right, sell the Untitled Chapter. Alright. We got our wood plank, and then we can get metal from an axe. Nah, that's wood. From a wand, maybe? Yes. Iron. 3. Need one more. Earth wand? Yes. Alright, so we got our iron and our wood. We can sell all the other white items. And now we need 100 gold in total for the axe. And since we still need scale fins, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue farming scales a little bit. We should get a little higher level still before we venture further into Presearing. So there is no shame in grinding those scale over here. You might ask, while we are using a hammer, why don't we go and get some hammer skills? First problem is I'm not too knowledgeable about warrior quest givers, since this is my first warrior, so I don't know if there is even a skill for a quest for a warrior hammer skill. I know you can buy one at level 10, and it's the only hammer skill in Presearing, and it just knocks down an enemy. It's very useful later on versus Char to prevent a heal or something as a CC. But for general leveling, it costs too much adrenaline and it just knocks down. If it also gave some damage, it would be pretty useful. But as it stands, only axe skills are good in this area. Sword skills are absolute dog shit, and the hammer skill is situational. We got the fin. Give us another one. Oh, alright. We got all of the fins, so let's just finish. You know what? We can actually walk back to Ascalon. Get our bag. Because remember, any game you play whatsoever, bag space is king. It's so important. take it from a UIM player, backspace is the most important thing you can get. Oh, actually, I can show you one small Easter egg of this area. I think it's located here. If we go up this little hill, there is actually nothing of interest here for the players to get. And somewhere around here is... Was it here? Or am I stupid? I might be misremembering the place. I probably am. Maybe it's a different place. Alright, forget I said anything. Yes, I cannot seem to find it. Well, it's probably some other place. I will make sure to find it when playing my main tomorrow and showcase it on a future stream. Okay, and we can trade our 5 scale fins for a belt pouch, holds 5 items, and we can store more stuff. So what I like to keep in the belt pouch is a couple of Nick items. I like to keep my red iris flowers, I like to keep my Groll necklaces, and let's just throw the seeds in here. And the 2 places left over will be to keep our Nick gifts and our black dice once we get them. Black dice in Presearing are the, let's say, currency. Because gold has a cap of 100 platinum, which is 100,000. A platinum is 1,000 gold. You can hit that relatively quickly, even in Presearing with heavily reduced gold drops. Well, maybe not. Yes, actually, maybe not quickly, but if you play consistently, you will get there eventually. Even in Presearing, especially if you trade. If you get gold from other people, then obviously you can get it really fast. So what Presearing players started to use as a secondary currency is black dice. You can use them to dye your armor to be a massive flex. But also they are worth 16 to 18 platinum each, depending on the person selling and the current price. So maybe instead of using them on your own armor, you can sell them and buy a lot of stuff from other people, like runes and bags and insignias and other stuff that might prove useful. The only other dye that is worth anything is the white dye, because white armor also looks cool. I have my full armor dyed black on my hardcore character and my full armor dyed white on my main Presearing character. But apart from that, the so-called rainbow dyes, which means just various other colors, are not really worth anything, and there are more for collecting. I have a collection on my deposit character of all the dice that I've accumulated since playing Presearing, and I think I have about 50 of each. Do you have an interest in an Amazon game New World? As an RRC player, it reminds me so much of RS. So I've played New World, or Q World, what it was when I played it. I waited for half a year to play this game, and I strayed away from every beta test, from Reddit, from YouTube videos, etc. just to go into the game fresh, because I heard a couple things about it and watched some background footage, and I knew that this will probably be a game that comes to my liking. and I'm not a huge fan. First of all, the queues killed a little bit of the hype, but I can look past that very easily. Then my computer couldn't really handle it. The game, I had like 15 or sometimes less FPS, and in towns I had less than 1 FPS, which was terrible. I couldn't move. So I spent all my savings for it because I still wanted to play the game, obviously. And after playing it for a couple days with good setup, with good working computer and everything, I just couldn't get really into it. So I'm sorry, but so far I would like to get back into it. Maybe once the hype dies down a little, I can get at every time of day or night without queue, and then maybe I will be enjoying it a little more, because for now I just didn't find gathering or crafting as enjoyable as it is, for example, on RuneScape for me. And the combat part was okay. I felt terrible playing with a Warhammer, but then I switched to Musket, and I enjoyed it a lot. It actually reminded me a little of playing Fallout, as a, let's say, action RPG slash shooting game. But the quests got very repetitive very fast. So, as the point stands at this moment, for me, this is a beautiful looking game without much substance in it. For me. If you're enjoying it, obviously more the power to you. Have fun. I think there are a couple things that would make the game better for me personally. Once again, and probably the most important thing would be to get some different quest types than just like 3 kill monsters, fetch stuff, and talk with somebody. I know these are the typical MMO quests, but once you get spoiled with something like RuneScape, it is just very hard to get back to that. But even, you know, World of Warcraft also uses this regular type quests of kill some stuff, bring some stuff, and I just have more fun in World of Warcraft than on New World. So I will give the game a chance, but for now, I would like to wait and see how it develops, maybe. And maybe it will get an Iron Man mode. That would be pretty sick. I would be definitely checking out the game more then, because I'm a bitch for Iron Man. And how do you like it? If you asked about it, I'm sure you're enjoying the game quite well, so maybe tell me a little about the positives you see, and maybe that will open my eyes a little to things that I didn't see in the couple of days I've been playing. You gave it a negative on Steam out of principle. Why? I definitely agree. It feels unfinished, like there was a beta and they decided not to change anything. Yeah, I can definitely agree. So, if you were an Amazon employee with some executive power, what would you do first? What would you work on first? The completionist aspect of the game. That's something I didn't think about. So, like, something like maxing all the skills, or is there more completionist content? Because I'm a huge fan of stuff like just completionist content is what I really love in games. Doing maybe some pointless stuff. There's a cat scratching me that wants my attention, so you can sit on my lap and say hi to everyone. Alright, so two questions from me. One is about the completionist content, and the second one is if you were an Amazon employee with some executive power, what would you like to work on first? What do you think would be the most important fix for the game? Can you stop scratching me? Masz kocyk? Get your blanket. You cannot sit here, you know? Let's read what you wrote. Bugs. I haven't played long enough to encounter any terrible bugs except low frame rate, so you'd have to tell me more about it. I'm gonna take a short break real quick to say that a worn belt, if you see it on the floor in Guild Wars, it's not actually a belt as an armor piece, but it's also a nick item, so you want to keep those for the presents. Back to New World discussion because I'm really curious. Everything breaks. Do you have an example? Like, are these UI issues or monsters clipping into walls or lags or crashes or something like this? I can definitely agree on the not a complete product part. All of those things. Jesus Christ, that really sounds like a broken game, broken to its core. Alright, maybe I would go on New World subreddit just to sort for bugs and have a good laugh after the stream. Because that really does sound like a little too much. Our bags are getting full, but thankfully there's a merchant here so we can sell our stuff. We got it! The improved sale value mod. A little too late, but it's still gonna be very useful. This pretty much doubled our cash stack. The combat just stops working until you switch weapons sometimes. Switching itself just doesn't really work as expected. So you sit there mashing buttons and your character stands there. I think I felt it. Maybe that's not the exact thing you're talking about, but I felt like, especially when I played with two melee weapons, I think it was Warhammer and Sword, I tried to switch between them and my character just wouldn't. It felt like there was a really tiny small window where I could switch them and I would have to basically guess when that is. That's part of the reason why switching to Musket felt really good. Hit through enemies, you'll get stuck in a weird pose, be unable to attack, you'll randomly die? That sounds like the worst one of them. Pretty endless. I'd take up your entire stream if I named all the bugs. Alright, then I gotta say I'm a little glad that I decided to take a break from the game and maybe come back later, because as I grow older I have a little and less, that's the word, less and less tolerance for stuff like this. I could deal with it when I'm younger, but when I'm older I just constantly start asking myself, I could be playing RuneScape right now, I could be playing Guild Wars, I could be on a walk or running or something else. So yeah, but gotta say, even after hearing all this, I got a small itch to play New World right now. I really enjoyed shooting my gun, you know? That's the simplest, stupidest thing, but the progression didn't really feel good to me, but just shooting zombies with my gun felt pretty good. And also a little small disappointment. I heard people are maxing their gathering skills now, and I kind of hoped it would take a little longer, you know, it would be more of a RuneScape type maxing. But then again, I don't think anybody will max their entire tree of gathering, production, and combat skills yet, so just a very, very, very small note from me in an obvious huge ocean of bigger problems right now. But it does sound like a great game with its growing pains. I think that's a perfect summary of what we have here. The place we're at is very close to Fort Rannick, which we're going to be able to teleport there. And this place is the scale AoE farming spot. There's a little to be talked about, a little more to be talked about. AoE grinding in Guild Wars, it doesn't work as obviously as you would think it does. There is an anti-farming code at work, etc. But this is the place in Presearing where you can go with your character if you have AoE abilities like an Elementalist, and just firestorm all of this down and collect the scale fins and event drops. As a warrior, we do not have such a thing, and I'm not going Elementalist secondary, so we will not be leveling up here. But if you are playing an Elementalist, then this is definitely the place to go. Or a Necromancer, they have a small AoE too. Alright, so we talked about New World's worst, like bugs and little things that we would like to have changed. But what... Yeah, I think I asked you what you like about the game already. Let me scroll up. The atmosphere, audio design. Yeah, audio is fantastic for this game. The game looks great visually, but the sound is also fantastic. Completionist aspect. Alright, so what is the completionist content in New World? Is it only maxing your skills and just getting them all to that? I think 200 is the max? Or... I think there's also the blue books you can collect. That sounds like a nice little distraction. What else is there? And this is for Ranik. Now that we have Fort Ranik unlocked, this is, as you can see, a very far run. We just have one outpost to get still, but for now let's teleport to Ascalon and let's craft our axe. And we can start using our skills finally. Max every trade skill to 200. There are a ton of quests, although they are generic, alright. Let's craft our axe. 5 to 10 damage is more than we have on our two-handed hammer, so that definitely will be a noticeable damage increase. And we can get a shield as well, so our defensive capabilities will increase also. Alright, I don't have any good shields right now, so let's get one from monsters, hopefully. They will not be as good, and in the long run we would like a purple shield from Char with some really fantastic mods. Alright, for our skills, we have 2 axe skills now. We have Executioner's Strike for 8 adrenaline that deals additional damage. This is a fantastic skill. It scales really well with Axe Mastery attribute, and it's just, comparing to all the other warrior skills, it's just great. You love to use this. It really feels like an Executioner's Strike, and the monster will just whip down. And Cyclone Axe uses our energy, and it does a small AoE, so it will be just good to press some buttons for now. Let's also get out the points we pumped into Hammer Mastery back, and let's put it all into Axe Mastery. We will be with 0 strength, so we are losing 2% armor penetration, which I don't know if it rounds up or down, but we might be just losing nothing, but we're getting a lot of damage. This was previously plus 10, now it's plus 20 damage, and this was plus 4, now it's plus 7, so definitely big upgrades. Let's sell this hammer, we don't need it anymore, and let's grab our starter shield. This is 3 armor, but it's for free, and we should get a shield relatively quickly. That's better. Alright, and with all that set up, let's teleport to Ashford and let's get our last outpost. And in the meantime, let's go back to talking about New World. You can also max every weapon skill tree, reputation in every region. Alright, I forgot about reputation, that's a big one. And there are a ton of achievements. Yes, that's the thing I forgot about. Achievements, of course. I wasn't sure if there are achievements in the game, but now I remember they popped up pretty often when I played the couple days that I did. God, I love achievements. I think Amazon has a lot of room to make the completionist journey exciting. I look at it like I'm playing the beta. The game will be totally different in 2 years now if it's revised. Or for sure. As you mentioned, the growing pains come for every game. Some deal with it better, some worse. I just hope that they will continue working on it and not just assume it's a flop. I don't think they will, because it generally got a lot of success, I think. And it's just a matter of ironing out the bugs, a lot of bugs from what you're talking, and then adding some balance changes and maybe new content. I heard people who pretty much speedrun through the game are complaining for a lack of content, but who would, who would have expected that? It's really cool to see you play this game. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. Found your channel because of RSC. Alright, I'm really glad someone watches my RSC content. I know it's an exaggeration because there are some people who watch me. But I was really afraid that if I make a series about RSC, you know, this game doesn't exist anymore and nobody would watch it. But I'm really glad there is still some interest in RSC content, because I am enjoying the game still. It's not dead to me, and it's not dead to other people who play on that server. And I'm really glad there are some people who are interested in maybe watching some videos. And I still want to finish all the quests. And after all the quests, I think I will be doing a little bit of skilling, but then probably maybe moving on, because at the end of the day, RSC is hard on your wrists, man, and my wrists are very weak. Did you play Guild Wars when you were a kid, or did you just see somebody else play it? RSC, the real wrist killer, yeah. Yeah, doing something like spinning flags, come on. Come on, or pickpocketing, right click to scroll down to pickpocket, Jesus Christ. I'm glad you're enjoying it. As I said, since RSC is so heavy on the wrists and also requires so much attention while doing stuff, you can't really AFK anything except maybe for a little bit of combat. It's really hard to keep playing it, because my main focus is this Ultimate Iron Man on OSRS. So, for example, now I'm doing Herblore and I can AFK a little bit, but I also waited for this Halloween event to play Guild Wars and to make this warrior, so for now this takes a little bit of priority, but I have some clips saved and there should be a third episode of RSC coming out soon. I'm really glad you are enjoying it. Played Guild Wars, you were really too young to know what you were doing. It's awesome to hear you describing what you're doing in the game, because to me it was always a mystery as a younger person. I think that's an experience that everybody has with some game, every gamer has with a game from their childhood that they just played it, they didn't really know what they were doing. For example, I still play a lot of Diablo 2, and when I think about what I used to do in Diablo 2, I just can't help but have this stupid smile on my face. I would just use skills that looked cool and not deal like big damage or anything. And I would only look at armor on my items, ignore every other stat, because whatever has the most armor is the better thing, obviously. And I think I would just... my brain was too small to comprehend everything that was going on. And I loved creating new characters. I did as a kid in every game love creating new characters. And I would just create a new character, do the first couple quests, and then when I had to stop playing for the day, the next day I would delete it and make a new character, because I think I just love familiar things. So I'm glad that you are enjoying me describing everything. I was a little afraid that if somebody plays Guild Wars still and they would come to a stream and they would see a person describing stupid, obvious stuff, obvious for a Guild Wars player, they would not be interested, but I am trying to make it as interesting as I can. Now we have all the outposts we have in Presearing, so we are pretty much done with the map. I also like to fully explore the map, so as you can see, this little patch is unexplored somewhere over here, so there's a lot of exploring to do, and this level range we are at is perfect for it, because we are too weak to go into Northlands, which is the area we will be spending most of our time in. And it's here. So we still want to get to like level... well, let's say at least 6 before we venture there. Probably higher would be better. So we don't get face smashed by Char and lose our survivor progress. So what I will be doing now, before going to sleep, is we will be doing some quests, but not completing them, and we will be specifically doing the secondary profession quests. So how it works is we're gonna take the Elementalist one first. Once you accept a quest, you are given abilities, like we got with the axe skills, because we're a warrior. But if you accept a secondary quest, secondary profession quest, you get the abilities for a little bit. They will be the weakest version of themselves because we will not get the attributes to use them. So for example, now we will go and pick an Elementalist quest, and it will not be, we will get 2 abilities, I think, and they will not be pretty useful because we cannot put points in, I think it's Fire Mastery, so it will not do any damage. But we're doing this to have them completed but not turned in, so that at level 16 we can turn them in. We are not doing this with any other type of quest, just the secondary profession ones, because at level 10 I would want to pick a secondary profession, maybe a little later, and waste that little bit of experience from one quest just so we can use our secondary profession skills. We will be going for secondary ranger because in Presearing it has fantastic skills, and one of those is a pet and the other one is a healing skill, and we want both of those. So we have to do all the other quests first, because if we go and do the ranger quest now and we become a ranger, we cannot do all the other ones, and if we have them done already, we can just go and turn them in for a huge chunk of experience at level 16. So I will accept this quest. This is the Elementalist Experiment. We got a couple of abilities. Firestorm, which is an AoE fire attack and, in my opinion, the strongest skill in Presearing, if you can put points in it. Aura of Restoration, which is the Elementalist healing skill, and it heals you every time you cast a spell, and if you have a lot of points in energy storage, it also restores some energy. And there's Glyph of Lesser Energy that makes some of your skills cost less energy. This is a fantastic utility skill that you pop before casting an expensive spell like Firestorm. So this quest requires us to kill all the ice shards that are coming. The intent is to learn using our new skills, so just use Firestorm and keep our health high with Aura of Restoration. But since I'm level 4 and these are all level 1, and we have an imp, we can just auto-attack them to death and be done with it. This is also a fun. I hope we are back online. I will resume what I was talking about. Hopefully we didn't lose too much time. Okay, so this quest is perfect for leveling up. If you want to just do it in an efficient manner, this is the efficient way to level up, I think, to level 5. Because the monsters come to you and there's a lot of them, and you get a lot of XP, then you can abandon the quest, pick it back up, only cut for a few moments. Alright, great, thank you very much. So we have that quest completed now. We could turn it in to the Elementalist Azure, but we want to keep it completed in our log. And let's get another quest. If we go to Ashford Abbey, there are 2 quests here. One is for Monk and one is for Necromancer. Then we will go near Ascalon for a Mesmer quest, and we will have Monk, Necromancer, Elementalist, Mesmer. And I don't think we can do a secondary warrior because we are a warrior already. So we will go to Regent Valley and we will pick up the Ranger one, the last one. And then we will be able to tame a pet, which will be fantastic. So let's talk to Brother Menlo. And if you watch my Elementalist abilities, after I pick the Monk's mission, they disappear. So that's why we pick the Ranger one last. So we can do all the quests and keep the Ranger abilities. So what this quest has us do is, this is an escort quest. Let me just move this here so it's a little closer. There will be an NPC here called Paulus the Abbot, and he is a monk, even though he uses a sword and a shield, so maybe some kind of a combat monk, maybe a smiter or something. And his task is to go and retrieve an artifact here in the catacombs. And we have to help him, escort him, and heal him. Later on, there will be some toxic water, and we will be getting consistent damage. And if we don't heal Paulus, he will die and the mission will be failed. And we also have to heal ourselves because we do not die either. It's 1 health degeneration, which means 2 damage per second, I think. I think for health it's 2 per second, and for energy it's 1 per second. So at higher level, I can stand there for a long time before I die, I think about 5 minutes. But at this level, as you can see, our health is dropping pretty fast. So I have to heal Mr. Paulus and then heal myself. What we are now is called a Wamo, which is warrior / monk. We don't have the monk profession officially, but when the game was new, the players used to create a warrior character because it looks cool, because it's a warrior, it must be so strong. And then when they learned that you can pick a secondary profession, then they would go for monk, because a warrior that can heal itself, that must be the strongest thing in the universe. And then it turns out pretty much everybody did it, and when there were groups for some missions or harder quests, people would sometimes just straight up refuse to pick up Wamos because they only were good on paper. They were not actually good in the actual combat. So a warrior that can heal itself sounds good on paper, but it's not. I mean, it's a good build in Presearing, but there are better ones. And the other skills we got and didn't get to test is Bane Signet. I am monk secondary on my main character, which is a ranger. And I use this skill sporadically. It costs nothing with 1 second cast time and 20 seconds cooldown. And it deals some damage, some holy damage to the target, which means it will deal double damage to undead. And it knocks down a target if it's attacking. This is very useful if you're doing a high level quest in the catacombs here. And by high level quest, I mean a Vanguard quest, which is a daily quest in Presearing. You get there on a rotation, so you can check on the site which one is today, which one will be tomorrow, etc. And some of those are in catacombs, 2 of those to be specific. 1 requires you to kill 6 skeleton necromancers, and 1 requires you to find an NPC here and escort him back to the exit. And the catacombs quests are generally considered to be the most dangerous ones, to be the longest, and to be the hardest, especially the necromancer one. You can get spiked by a lot of damage and get full to zeroed even if you're not prepared. Maybe not full to zeroed, but pretty close to that. About half of your HP in an instant at level 20, which is max. For Presearing, that's insane combos you get, so you gotta watch out. We have completed the monk's mission. We have escorted this dude successfully, which is fantastic. Once more, we have the quest completed. We can turn it in whenever, which we will do after we level up a little and we want to become a ranger permanently. And let's pick up the Necromancer quest from Necromancer Mune, I think. The system of trying out all the professions is fantastic for newer players. You can feel how every profession works and looks like before you make your pick. And in Presearing you can only play 6 of the professions, and there are 4 more in the game. So if you play the game the way it's meant to be played, which is in Presearing, the actual end game. You get a lot of combinations possible. The characters you can play in Presearing are Warrior, which is a typical warrior archetype. You can use 3 weapons, two-handed hammer, or axe, or sword. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the chat. Really happy you came by, and take care. You can use a two-handed hammer as a warrior, or axe and sword, or axe or a sword, and they are both one-handed, so you can use a shield or an artifact with them, or a focus, either artifact or a focus. Different words for the same thing. Then there is a ranger, which primarily uses a bow and can have a pet. Then there is a monk, which is the healer in this game, the so-called healing profession. Every profession has some self-healing skills, and in Presearing especially, every profession has a way to heal themselves. But the monks are created to be able to heal better than everyone else and to heal others. They can also go offensive. They're called smiting monks, or smiting. I think it's smiting. But they are generally less damaged than the so-called damage professions. Then you have a Necromancer, which we are doing the secondary quest for right now. As you can see, it has some curses, causing degeneration to enemies, regeneration to yourself, slowing enemies' attack speed, etc. You also have a very useful buffs for your own party. In later stages of the game, you can have skills like Blood Well, that creates a well around you that heals everyone. And you can obviously create your skeletal army, which is fantastic. And in this quest, we're gonna use our spells to create bone horrors to remove those gazers. As you could see, there was a gazer trap here, and the game showed us a scorpion walking into it to showcase that if something walks into it, you get a lot of damage. The damage you get is 500, and it cannot be mitigated by armor, so it's just true damage, straight up 500 to your face. Let me just kill this. So it's possible to survive at level 20, but if you wanna stay your survivor, then maybe do not do it. If we cast it here, it's gonna create the closest it's gonna use up the closest corpse to us, which was this monster obviously, but if we go closer to the gazer and if we cast the bone horror, then it will create a zombie over the trap, and it will walk to us and detonate the trap so we can pass safely. That's what the quest wants us to do. We need to do this one more time and then fight this Tom Nightmare and kill it to complete the quest. So let's create the bone horror one more time. And the gazer is now detonated. We can go fight the monster. And 2 professions I did not mention yet are Mesmer. Mesmer is a type of a magic class that focuses on bending the minds of its enemies, which is a pretty unique concept and definitely an interesting class. And gotta say, my least favorite class in the entire game. People love Mesmers. One of the updates, one of the last updates the game got, let's say important updates, balance changes, buffed Mesmers a lot. So they are now like a proper class compared to all the other classes that might be a little clunky. And Mesmers are the strongest class in the game, by far. In Presearing they are very specialized, which is why I'm not a huge fan of them. I just enjoy simplicity more, and you have to think with a Mesmer, which I'm not good at. I'm a simple dude, that's why I created this warrior over here. And in Presearing, they can cast spells, hexes on enemies that will deal damage to them if they attack you or cast spells, and they can detonate those hexes to deal damage. It's a very fun class, very unique one, but the fact that it's the strongest in the game makes me not enjoy it in the main game, in post-searing, and the fact that it's so specialized in pre-searing makes me not really enjoy it here either. But it definitely has a lot of fans. And if you're a person that would like to finish their... See, I was talking, I didn't turn in the quest, and that's great because on the previous character I turned it automatically, and that's not what we want to do. Let's go to Ascalon. If you're a person that wants to strive for a rank 3 survivor title in Pre, then Mesmer is the fastest experience per hour at level 20, so that's one niche they have covered in Presearing. They get experience disgustingly fast compared to other professions. Let's sell our stuff. And the last profession that I didn't talk about yet is Elementalist. Elementalists are your typical magic characters. In Presearing, they generally use fire magic. They also have some air magic spells, but they're not as good as the fire magic ones. And in the main game, they also have access to water and earth magic. Yes, so a lot of variety when playing an Elementalist in the post game. In Presearing, they're just char killing machines. They have the strongest AoE in the entire area, which is Firestorm, I think it's called. It's Rain of Fire, deals a lot of damage in AoE. Monsters die, you're happy, and definitely a top tier profession just because of that one spell in Presearing. If we talk to Lady Althea here, we will learn about the Mesmer's burden, and there's a bull here that is making her irritated, and we have to take care of it. And the bull has a gigantic armor pool, and because we are meant to do this quest early, we are below the bull's level, which is 5. Now we are at 5 because we played a little, but you're meant to do this quest earlier. So the spell you get, the Conjure Phantasm, for 2 seconds causes -5 health degeneration, which ignores armor and deals a lot of damage to the bull. You also get a heal. Excuse me, I've been talking for a long time. You also get a heal. That is a fantastic heal because it not only heals you, but it also causes energy loss to the enemy, and you slow the enemy. So what you're meant to do is slow the bull so it cannot attack you, and then cause degeneration on it. We can just fight it head on, I think. And one interesting tidbit is that the bull uses a skill called Bull's Charge, which is an elite skill you can know because of its golden border around it, and there are no other elite skills in Presearing. You cannot have it as a player, and nothing else uses an elite skill. If you leave Presearing, then the mission straight after leaving Presearing, which is Ascalon Academy, there is a monster that uses the second elite skill there, called Barrage, but in the actual Presearing there are no other elite skills. I think they just use this one because it's fitting, and I have a habit of returning to the quest giver when we do not actually want to turn in the quest. So what I will be doing now is let's teleport to Ashford Abbey. We will go and pick up the ranger quest, and we will be taming a panther, and I think that will be the moment where I will be ending the stream for now because it's 1 AM and it's a weekday, so it would be good to go to sleep at a reasonable time. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I couldn't believe it when I heard it from people who are also streaming, but your throat really hurts when you're talking for a long time. So I'm gonna go take a sip of water. Also probably doesn't help that I bit my tongue today. So yes, all of those skills that you could see were pretty useful or had their niche uses, and the ranger skills you get by accepting the skills just blow it out of the water, because the main the main minus and the drawback of the skills you get is that they are locked at their base power, and you increase skills potential by increasing the attributes, like we did with increasing X Mastery, which increased the damage of our axe skills. We cannot do that, for example, for those Mesmer skills, because we do not have access to Mesmer attributes until we officially lock in our secondary profession, for example, a Mesmer, for the Mesmer attributes. But Ranger skills from the quest, the temporary ones, are amazing, even if you do not want to be a Ranger, because one of the skills you get, the Troll Unduent, I think you get from this quest, is a healing spell, heal over time, that is pretty good even at its base level. I think it gives +3 health regeneration, which is nothing to scoff at. Obviously it scales amazingly if you put points into its attribute, which is Wilderness Survival. But the second skill is the cream of the crop. You get Charm Animal and Comfort Animal, and that lets you get a pet, and the pet will level with you, so it doesn't matter that the skill is not increased by its attribute, which in this case is Beast Mastery, because the pet will level up anyways. We will get it to a higher level, and it will be stronger without even putting points into it. At a later point, we will be putting our secondary profession as Ranger. So so we will be sticking with this one, but even if you do not plan to become a Ranger, you should probably take this quest as your last temporary one. So as I mentioned, here is the Troll Unduent, Comfort Animal, and Charm Animal, and we also get a starter bow, which we can destroy because we will not be using bows for now. Later on, maybe we will switch to a bow build because it's viable for secondary rangers to use bow skills in Presearing. In post, bow is not that great. So what this quest has us do is we have to go here on the map. There's a Melandru statue. Melandru in Guild Wars is the god of nature, I think the goddess of nature. And there's a healing spring over there with some stalkers around it, and we have to charm a stalker. And actually, I don't know if the imp will not kill it. I probably should not have used the imp. If we fail this, then I will just go here again, but without the imp, and we will call this one fail moment. Let's see. For when I become very, very famous big streamer on the top streamer list, and I will get bajillion channels making Crystal FTP fail compilations, etc. Something like this. We got dual carapaces. I will not be going for that one, but I would like to generally collect them. One of the Nick items. And we're getting pretty close to the Melandru Spring. You can see the stalkers around there already. Here's one of the more annoying enemies in Presearing, the Moss Spider. It's a ranger, while every other monster does not have a profession, so if you look at it, it's R2, R for ranger. But if we click, for example, on a scale, it's just level 2, so this is weird. It shoots at you and it's always aggressive, And that's just annoying as hell when you're doing a quest in here. Just annoying, but less about spiders, more about stalkers. Maybe we can lure this one to the spring over here. If you look at my buff bar, there's a healing fountain buff that gives +3 regeneration to all non-undead, which means that maybe this will help the Panther and me survive the charming process. Let's charm it. Looks like it will be no problem. Imp shouldn't be able to kill it. Alright. And we have the Stalker. I'm not sure if we will be keeping it or if I will be releasing it, and we will be charming a bear, because bear is a big flex in Presearing. Maybe somebody will help me charm a bear. But for now, we did it to complete the quest. We have all of the secondary profession quests completed. So thank you for enjoying the stream. Thank you for watching. This should probably save to YouTube, so if you're watching this not as a stream but as a future recording, hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in a future stream. Goodbye.